Happy Sunday, happy Sunday, happy Sunday. It's your girl Hannah Love of Love More Music, worship coach, worship leader, and today we are going to talk all things worship while I get ready for church. Now, I had one topic lock loaded and ready to go, and the Lord was like, no, and changes my topic yesterday. So, what we talk about today is me leaning into a concept or an idea that I believe the Holy Spirit wants us as musical creatives and worship leaders to kind of understand. Um, as always, I will be showing you where my pieces come from. So let's get right to it. We are going to be talking about the disciplined worship leader, right? The importance of having discipline in your tool belt as a worship leader, right? So the blouse that I'm wearing is one of my basics. It's a unitard black long sleeve tee. However, it snaps in places that I would much rather not be aired out onto the people that social media. So it is already on. It is a black one piece, and I'm pairing it with my favoriteest skirt of all times. It's a little high-low number. Um, I got it from a black-owned boutique um, in Mount Vernon almost 10 years ago. When I remember the name of the boutique, I will certainly post it, but I can't remember it. So today, we're talking about the disciplined worship leader. And the verse that the Father dropped in my spirit was 1 Corinthians 9, verses 24 to 27. So essentially, the last few verses of the chapter. And in this chapter, or towards the end, Paul is telling us that we are fighting a fight. And as believers, our goal, not fighting a fight, we are running a race. And our goal as believers is to get to the end. In order to get to the end, one of the tools that we have to have in our toolbox is discipline. And verse 25 and the first part of verse 27 is actually what I wanted to highlight. So it says, all athletes are disciplined in their training. That's the first part of 25. And then the next part is 27 that says, I discipline my body like an athlete, training it to do what it should. Now, I looked at the meaning of the word discipline, and discipline is defined as training people to obey rules or a code of behavior. However, the meaning that I feel the Holy Spirit kind of wanted to sit on was self control, the ability to control yourself and keep working on difficult tasks. That's kind of like the most important part, right? So as a worship leader, or before I even get there, if you have ever trained or prepared for anything, this hat I got from Shein. And I've always wanted to wear it. So this is my first time wearing a hat similar to this. Um, so, uh, if you are training for anything, whether training or preparing for anything, whether it is finishing your studies, whether it is a fast, whether it is preparing for a game, right? There are certain things that you have to do that you cannot afford not to do that could either take you off course or affect how you finish, right? So, say you are an athlete and you're preparing for a marathon, you're going to wake up every day, you're going to get a personal trainer, you're going to change your diet, you're going to run, or you're going to condition your body to be successful for this race to win. If you are in school and you are pursuing a degree, you are going to make sure you attend class, submit your assignments, check in with your professors and your advisors to ensure that you are en route to finish. The end goal is always the first thing that we see. We know where we want to end up. It is usually the steps along the way where our discipline is usually challenged, right? These shoes I got from Shein. And it actually has a cool little memory foam in it, which will make standing for hours and hours and hours on end whilst leading worship a breeze and a blessing, right? So as believers or just as people, it's easy for us to see the end before the beginning. I know kind of what I want praise and worship to result in. I want Jesus to show up in the room. It is the steps along the way that get us there. So, what do I do when a song that I felt the congregation would like bow to, it's not hitting? What do I do if I send this set in the worship chat, but the musicians didn't learn it in time, right? What do I do if I planned to practice this set me by myself in my shower or in my mirror on Tuesday, but then I get a message that I had a death in the family and now my brain isn't even thinking about music, or work starts to work, life starts to life, and my time becomes consumed with all of these other things that are equally important but are now getting in the way of my ability to properly prepare for service. These are little things that can affect our ability to become and remain disciplined. So, like an athlete has to condition their body to do what I'm telling my body to do in spite of how I feel. Athletes train in the snow, they train in the rain, they train in the sleet, they train in extreme weather conditions because they are conditioning their body to bow to the elements. It's the same thing with us. As worship leaders, we have to condition our flesh to bow in spite of what is around us, in spite of how we're feeling. So I'm still going to continue singing, even if the congregation hasn't responded to worship yet. I am still going to fast, even though my stomach is touching my spine and my ribs are about to collapse on each other. I am still going to mind the conversations that I have, the shows that I'm watching, the books that I'm reading. I'm going to mind what I'm consuming. I'm going to be mindful of the activities that I engage in because I don't want anything to challenge or to decrease or lessen my effectiveness to minister because a part of me has not been fully submitted or fully disciplined. So it is easy to say, as a worship leader, you ought to be disciplined. The reality is, it's hard. I like bread. I like pasta. I like pizza, even though I peel off all the cheese. I like um juice. I love a good glass of cold ginger ale when my stomach is doing nonsense. But if I'm preparing for something and the Lord tells me, no, no, Hannah, you can't eat that right now, I have to put it down because God said so. So, what do I do when the life that I have surrendered to or the call that I've submitted to challenges an area in my flesh that is not disciplined? First and foremost, you pray. Um, Earrings came from Shein. These are like one of my favorite pairs, and mostly because it's in the shape of a heart. And I love anything that is in the shape of a heart, as they are my favorite shape. Um, First, I am going to ask the Father for help. Hey, you called me to be submitted in this area. You called me to be surrendered in this area, but I'm struggling. I am not as disciplined as I would like to be, right? That is the first thing. Second, I am going to get around community. Is there anyone in my community that is able to partner with me and support me in being disciplined? Is there anyone around me that can see that I'm trying to condition my body to bow and bend, but I'm struggling to do it because I just have a predisposition or I incline to leaning to this one I shouldn't. Be open and honest with your community. Hey, I struggle with overeating. When I'm stressed, I eat. When I'm happy, I eat. When I'm sad, I eat. If I had a good day, if I had a bad day, I reward myself with a cookie, a chip, or sometimes a really big plate of food at times of nights that I should not be eating. However, the Lord told me to fast, and I'm finding it really hard to tell my flesh no and to turn my plate over. Can you pray with me and also check in on me while I am fasting so that my flesh is learning to bow to what the Holy Spirit is telling me to do? Right? Being disciplined is extremely important because our calling, it depends on it. The people that we minister to are craving it. They need to know that there is nothing getting in the way between me standing before them and God flowing through me. So does my filter need to be cleaned? Am I leading from an emotional place? One of the things that comes with being discipled is having your emotions checked at the door. It doesn't matter how I'm feeling, whether I'm happy, sad, angry, mad, or frustrated. Not that it's not important, but I don't want to lead from an angry place. I'm angry with my person. And so now I'm going to come and lead praise and worship from an angry place. We never want to get in a position where our flesh is making executive decisions for us in a place where only the Holy Spirit should be leading. You never want to get to that place. So, being a disciplined worship leader is so incredibly important. So, if this is something that you struggle with, take it to the Lord in prayer. Get community, get a coach, get someone that could help walk you through what does it mean to be disciplined? How do I baby step disciplined? It might look like I might not be able to pray for an hour, but I can set my alarm and wake up at the same time every day. And I could read one Bible verse. I'll start there. And then as that part of me is conquered, now I can challenge this undisciplined area of my life. Right? So that is my tip. As always, we're gonna spray a little smell good. This comes from Scentbird. And this one is Ritual by Good Habit, and it has notes of coffee, praline, sandalwood, and vanilla. So we're gonna smell like something that makes sense. Um, I pray that this bless you. I pray that this gives you a little bit of insight and context as to why, as a worship leader, being disciplined is needed, and your ability to serve from a holistic and a healthy place is dependent on it. As always, I love you immensely. I pray that you have an amazing Sunday, that God meets you, or amazing service, sorry, that God meets you where you are, and that the Holy Spirit flows in the place, and that the presence of God is felt by everyone that is there. I love you, I love you, I love you, and until next time.